Welcome back. The Finder is starting this morning and says mixed signals in credit ratings as substantial downside risks remain. The story is captured on page 2. We'll take a deeper look at that story later on. The Daily Guide says, I never paid Shatawale. That's according to the minister, Roads Minister, who launched his campaign in Tamale on Saturday. NPP manifesto takes shape. The launch is on over the weekend. We'll take a look at that. The BNFT says MTN to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange. That's a story captured by the BNFT Daily Graphic. Cement companies in price war. Competition drives prices down. Let me take a look at the Ghanaian Times. Ghana is 7th best in good governance in Africa. It carries another story. President seeks Australia's support to fight Galamsey. Those are stories on the Ghanaian Times. We'll take a look at all that later on. And then other ones that will come in. My guest this morning to help me do the talking to my left is a member of the NDC's communication team and a legal practitioner. Good morning, Mr. Maniba.
Good morning, Bright.
I hope you're doing good.
Very well.
Great. And welcome once again.
Thanks.
And then to my right is the women's organizer of the NPP, Madame Otiko. Good morning, too.
Good morning.
I hope you are doing great.
By the grace of God.
Great. And the campaigning is going on well.
By the grace of God, it is.
Grateful. Welcome once again to the discussion this morning.
Thank you.
Right. So let's start with this story on the Finder newspaper. It talks a lot about Ghana's economy. Some ratings have come in. And the story says, written by Elvis Darko, says, despite government trumpeting modest gains, credit ratings assigned Ghana by Moody's Investors Service and Fitch last week suggest Ghana is still battling substantial downside risk to the economy. Consequently, the two credit rating agencies did not upgrade Ghana's credit ratings but proffered mixed signals. Now, Moody's Investors Service maintained Ghana's rating at B3 but changed the outlook to stable, while Fitch also maintained the rating at B with negative outlook. According to Fitch, its sensitivity analysis does not currently anticipate developments with a material likelihood, individually or collectively, of leading to an upgrade. B3 is the lowest grade acceptable for investment and signifies a higher risk of default and greater risk to investors or policy holders. So that's one of the key things the story is raising, that the ratings are not signals that suggest that we are out of the woods here. Let me start with you, Mr. Amaliba. Is government story the fact that Ghana's economy is out of the woods completely, totally?
Let me start by saying good morning to your viewers. Government has never, be it the Minister of Finance or even the President, has never said that we are out of the woods. What we have said, following the Moody's rating, is that these are good signals indicating that we are doing something right. And that is why Moody's has rated Ghana to be B3 stable. The story has been told by our opponents, particularly Dr. Baumia, who goes around the country saying that the economy is in shambles and it's bad. We indicated that the Moody's ratings has rather indicated that this government is putting in place the necessary fundamentals that would ensure that we take off. You don't forget that we have also indicated that this economy would begin to grow at 7 to 8% next year, following the World Bank and the IMF projections. And so, if your question is that, are we saying that we are out of the woods? We've never said that. What we have said, following the Moody's ratings, is that we are getting the fundamentals right. We are making progress. We are moving from the situation which gave us a rating of negative to positive now. We are progressing. And the IMF policy that we find ourselves in has also indicated that progression. You know, following the Moody's ratings, they also came out and okayed our measures and ruled out the third tranche. These are all indications, when you put together, are indications that we are making strides, you know, within the economic sector. And so we shouldn't expect that Fitch would quickly come in and give us a positive rating. In any case, they do not come out with their ratings at the same time. Normally, when we were being downgraded, they did it at various times. Fitch would begin to see the positives, and they will be forced by themselves to also come up with some positive ratings. But for now, we will not stampede them for them to give us a positive rate. But our good works would ensure that Fitch also comes along with all these ratings that you are talking about. So Moody's has taken the lead, the others will follow suit.
I see. So, so for you, the ratings suggest that you have moved from a certain point, perhaps to a higher one. But what about your critics who say that you picked an economy that perhaps was doing quite well, looking at some of the indices, and yet you're so excited about B3 rating, a stable outlook, and you're trumpeting it?
You see, there were a number of challenges that we faced. We faced Doomsor, which was not our making. It wasn't the president who came into power and decided to go to people's homes and started putting off lights. It was as a result of years of inertia on the part of our governance system that we failed to add on to the national grid. And so we were hit with the Doomsor. What did we do as a government? We started the process of building up generation. We brought in the Ameri, we brought in car power, Pong came on stream, the gas component that at Atuabo. All these things culminated into our ability to have generation which is even beyond our consumption. As we speak now, the lights are stable. Doomsor is no longer a lexicon. When you have power outages, these are localized outages. It is not as a result of shortfall in generation. So if you look at the challenges that we faced as a result of some of these, what I just mentioned, you will understand that these are external factors, extraneous factors that hit us in the face. It was not the doing of the government. And so, and also prices of petroleum products and our commodity prices were also down, plummeted. In the midst of all this, you still saw a government that put infrastructure as its cornerstone. And you look all over the country. Ghana looks like one complete area of a construction zone. All manner of infrastructure is being put in place. In the midst of all these challenges, external factors, we've been able to do these things. And so you don't look at it from what we inherited. You look at it from the challenges that we faced, which were beyond our control. We couldn't have manufactured the lights, the power, because you need constant add-on to our national grid, which we failed to do as a nation. It is only this government that has come and we are now adding on to our generation. As we speak now, we have 110 megawatts of energy as surplus. This is as a result of the hard work of the John Mahama administration. So, yes, it is true that the signals were positive, but it is also true that when the Mahama administration started to put things in place, we were hit by external factors. And some of these were not our doing.
I'm grateful. I'll come back to you. But now, let me quickly come to you. Now, Dr. Bawumia, has been talking about the fact that the economy isn't sitting on a concrete, rather it is one of straw. Now, the story in the Finder is suggesting that despite the credit ratings, this economy is still in the woods, not yet out.
Thank you. And I'd like to say a good morning to Ghanaians all over the country watching your program today. We should thank God for our lives in Ghana and that we have come this far. We are now 59 years heading to pension.
One more year.
Yes, one more year and we'll be at that age of pension. So are we happy with ourselves as a nation? This report that has come out from Moody, does that mean that people in Ghana, standard of living and everything, are they happy? Do people have jobs? Is that a measure? This is talking about good governance in the state of various African states. Has it looked at all the other sectors? Good governance, what are the indicators? What are we using to measure good governance in this regard? And so, yes, some things are going well, but not everything is going well. Nobody can say that it's rosy. And yes, there is no perfect world. But after 59 years of independence and having a democratic governance for this long, since 92, we would expect that a country that was on a level of development where we had even attained middle income status should not be so heavily indebted now. Should not have the amounts of unemployment that we are seeing. We should not have the inability to pay salaries. We should not have these problems of energy and of water and of inability to pay capitation grants, inability to pay national health insurance providers, various service providers, various government contractors have not been paid to date. Are those part of this Moody report? And so, when Dr. Bawumia talks about, because you cannot look at the glass and say that, okay, it's half full, so this side is good, but we don't look at the other side. You have to look at both sides of it. In as much as some things are okay, there are so many other things that are not okay. And those are the things that, as a government of the day, the government promised a better Ghana agenda. Where is the betterment or the transformation in all those teachings?
Let's look at some of the things that are not okay, at least for those that are okay, we'll agree. But what are some of the key things that you think are not okay as far as the economy is concerned?
My brother talked about Dumso. When President Mills came, there was no Dumso. The Dumso started with President Mahama. President Kufuor did not leave a Dumso economy. And all the monies that have been Ghanaian parlance chopped in this Amari and Car Power deals. I'm surprised that my honorable colleague would even mention it as something that is good for this country.
But you have evidence of monies have been chopped?
Oh, are you not in this Ghana?
Well,
it was all over the place about the amount of money that were supposed to have been used for this Car Power, for Amari, and instead of going directly to the American energy company, they had to use other parties in Turkey and what have you. Instead of 350, huge amounts were then used for it. At whose expense? The cost of the taxpayer. What's the rate of inflation now? What's the rate of interest rate now? What is the GDP now? How much have we borrowed now? Ghana has gone back to being HIPC. Is that good for our country? Those are indicators. Nobody can tell you that GDP. What did the NDC say about their GDP growth? What did they promise Ghanaians? Has it not gone down to less than 4? What are we talking about? Let us be real about these things. And I'm very surprised that Amaliba would talk about increasing, what do you call it, electricity. Who brought Bui? The chief, Togbe. Who supported him to create all these energy increment that he brought? I mean, when you are talking about something, You have to talk about the reality on the ground. Look, since Kwame Nkrumah brought Akosombo Dam, others have come and added on energy in this country. We have now even gone to Abuazi, the thermal plant, and what have you. So what are we talking about?
So his assertion that President Mahama didn't bring Dumsor is what you're trying to challenge.
It is the reality that he did.
All right.
And the whole fact is that the money to be paid for the fuel is not being channeled there. That is the problem. Dumsor is not a problem of machines. So it's the money that should be put in there to buy the fuel, to power the machines. That is the Dumsor problem. But you can find money to pay the Wyomis and the JIDA and the deals in doing Amari and car power and the deals in branding your picture on a bus and sharing money to people in public. Those are not the things that give solutions to ordinary Ghanaians. The masses of our people are looking for hope from the government of the day. So yes, the Moody, what they have brought out, the figures, the statistics and what have you, says that Ghana is 7th best. Go around this country and ask whether people feel good. It's not enough for the statistics to say that we are doing well. But if you have, let's say, national health insurance, and you say you've done 29 million people, you've been able to put them on. But the reality of it is that our population in Ghana is 27 million. And even if you had 100 million people on the national health insurance, and the quality of health care, when you have cancer, they give you paracetamol. When you have hernia, they give you paracetamol. Service providers. So the figures will tell you that, yes, you're increasing the number of people on it. But the quality, the reality, a lot of the young people went to take the national health insurance card because they wanted to use it as a identification for either to open an account because they're going to school, parents have to pay monies, or else they also use it because they thought at the time they could use it as an ID for the voter register, until that was also cancelled.
So it's not because of the quality of service.
Oh no, the quality of service.
Fact that they can easily access
all over the country. And those are indicators. Look, a measure of a growing country is look at the women and children. How are the children faring? Where are the jobs? School feeding is not being paid. Capitation grant is on hold. I've just been told that at the weekend, President Mahama said now he will pay the allowances for nurses. Why? Because of votes. It's not about votes. It's about the development of a people and the welfare of a people. And so when you say you are now waiting for Fitch and here they are telling us that it's B3 and you are happy about it. In Akan they say, so mame, we will now so ada.
All right.
The reality on the ground is very different. And as for infrastructure, I don't know any government that has put in more infrastructure than the MPP. Seriously, with 20 billion, the amount of infrastructure throughout the country that under the MPP brought, you cannot even compare. 200 billion that the NDC has collected, and how much have they accounted for? 7 billion. And you tell us that you go.
That's according to your
oh, not
your
according
figures.
to me. You can also go and do it.
Okay,
look,
react to that.
The interchanges. You do circle interchange, and you say we should clap for you. Why? Didn't Rollins do interchange? Didn't President Kufuor? He did interchange at Kaswa.
You're not too excited about the freedom to move around that area? You're not excited about it? To be able to drive through circle?
To drive around
about 5
circle.
minutes? Yes.
Do you know
the
amount of disturbance it has caused in doing that? What I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with doing it.
Right.
But when you pretend that it is the first or it is the best and that it has never, it is like people should stop what they're doing and come and watch. That's what they were telling us, circle interchange. But if President Kufuor had not even made that road from circle right down to Nsawam, could you have done that one? You see, governance is a relay. You must give credit where it's due. Somebody started for you to come and also continue. But you talk as if nobody else has done any circle interchange. Go to Kumasi, Sofo line. All the NPP did 7 interchanges. So you come and do one with 200 billion and you say that you have done so much infrastructure. Right. Look, even the schools, you told us you've done 200, now 123, 70, and it's only 10. The others are in the pipeline. Where are the houses for the police, the XCX? Where are they? The teachers' allowance that President Mahama said he's going to give teachers money and they'll feel good, they'll buy cars, they'll be happy. Yesterday, he will say one thing. Oh, if he doesn't pay it and he loses the election, he'll be happy. Then when he sees that it will not help him, then he changes the thing. Because MPP says that we will restore the allowances because it's affecting the well-being of the teacher trainee and the nurses. And so, 2 months to election, you come and tell us that now you pay it. So which is which? Which is the truth with the NDC and President John Mahama? They will point left and shoot right. But that is not a solution to our development. And so, in as much as this report has come out, let us understand that we are building a nation. You don't start from scratch. You are no longer laying a foundation. When you tell the people you are going to give them money, you don't then come and say, oh, 2017. All the people who lost their businesses because of Dumso, where is their transformation or their change? All the people, some people died because of Dumso. Businesses have collapsed. You cannot come and still it's not gone. If you are not careful, as we are talking North Wing, it will go off. People have lost jobs. Right. So let us not take governance as a joke or something that you just come and play with people's lives and that we have done infrastructure. How is it affecting my life positively in Nakpanduri?
All right, I'll come back to you, Madam. I'm grateful. Madam Otuko Jaba is the women's organizer of the NPP. She raised a few issues, the country going HIPIC, the nurses' allowances, Mary Kapawa, and all those things. She's suggesting that that doesn't tell the true picture of the country.
Most of what she has said are factual, inaccurate statements. First and foremost, MPP did not build Bui. When they were leaving, it was a foundation. They were digging. And digging cannot result into power.
So they started the project. That's
so they shouldn't say that they built Bui.
It's very mediocre of you.
Bui never.
That is very mediocre of
you.
Seriously.
In fact,
you
have to restrain her.
They didn't build Am I a
you have to restrain her, else I will use
harsher words. You're not going to use
we want
she will allow you. Yes, she will allow you to go ahead.
Human beings.
Okay, you understand?
Yes. Don't restrain human beings.
Right.
So respect yourself.
The ball is in your court.
All right. She will not.
This is your show.
Disrupt.
If you want this show to be,
you please.
I am more violent than she thinks.
No.
Why would you want to be violent?
Yes, I am telling her. No. I am more violent than she thinks.
I don't think that is what you mean.
No, that's
you are just saying that you can also be disruptive. Not exactly
violent than she thinks.
All right.
Why would you want to be violent?
Madam, what is the point you allow him to make this point.
You made a lot of statements. You made a lot of statements. You made a lot of statements. I'm about to make my point. Then you will say it's mediocre. While you were talking, I kept quiet.
Amaliba, be violent.
So don't think that
be violent.
You are the only one who can show disrespect.
Be violent. You have just disrespected the people of this country.
You disrespected them first.
You disrespected make his submission, and then we'll move on. Mr. Amadba, please go.
Factual, inaccurate statements. The first one, like I indicated, is a Bui. Bui was a foundation. Indeed, they were digging, and that couldn't have given us energy.
So 2008.
They did not build Bui. Bui, by the time they left power, did not produce a kilowatt. That's a fact. You know it. So, if he talks about Dumso, and she goes on to talk about Asogle. Asogle is a private initiative.
The Tema Enclave.
Yes.
She says at least that private individual had support from someone.
Yes.
The government.
But what they did was to retrofit the at Kosombo Dam. And that for me is simply maintenance. We all maintain our cars. So, the Dumso we witnessed was as a result, partly of their inertia to add on to the national grid, and I still maintain that.
It took you so long to also fix it.
Now, yes, but if we sit down as a nation and all these huge problems hit us, it will actually take us time to get to where we are today, because we had gone to, let's say, negative 9. We're not even at 0. We had gone down. And so, for you to then come out and stabilize before you can move on, we needed to do what we did. When we talk about 29 million outpatient utilization, we are not saying that 29 million Ghanaians have the ID card in National Health Insurance. That's not what we mean. we mean 29 million Ghanaians utilize the hospitals as a result of the NHI card that they have. So it has nothing to do with the population. The number of times people have gone to hospital to have health care. And we are saying that this has increased because the National Health Insurance is working.
She talks about the quality. She says, well, 29 million times, and yet the quality isn't good. She says you have cancer, they give you paracetamol.
We have what? Cancer and paracetamol. When you have cancer, they give you paracetamol. That's an insult to the doctors of this country. So they should, medical association, you have to check here. Now, the other thing...
I think that's a figurative speech.
No,
she's suggesting that you don't get the quality that you need.
I take statements here seriously. Now, the next point is inability to pay salaries. This is woefully inaccurate. Salaries have been paid. There isn't any month that we as a government are unable to pay salaries. Just last week, text messages were sent to government workers to access their salaries. This is not a government that had to sell a state property so as to pay salaries. We've not done that. We've not gotten there yet. Then she talks about jobs. Jobs will be created as a result of this infrastructure development we are engaging. Look at the hospital at Legon, 600 plus beds. There will be doctors there. There will be nurses employed there. There will be drivers, orderlies, all the staff that you need in a hospital will be there too. And so, if you look at the massive infrastructure that is going on, it also follows that there will be employment because people will man these places, the schools. We are on the way to ensuring that we reduce unemployment. You also talk about Ghana being HIPIC. We've not gone HIPIC. Ghana is not HIPIC. It is a figment of her imagination and her party.
Our debt isn't scary.
You talk about debt. Every country borrows. Borrowing is not a taboo. What is important is where you put those monies into. And you cannot tell me that when you look at the schools, which will outlive us, look at this E-block, huge E-blocks. These E-blocks will live and outlive us for the next 50 years. Just as how Nkrumah left us with some infrastructure, these schools would eventually become legacies. And we can point to them that this is what President Mahama did when he was in government.
But even the E schools you're talking about, there's a struggle really as to when they will be completed. The president is asking for another mandate, 4 years to fix it.
Right. We are being honest with the people of this country. We have done 123 at various stages. 10 have been commissioned. 70 others are in the pipeline. Some have been completed. The president has indicated that the school should be open for the students to go. He will come later on and commission them. We couldn't have foreseen that there will be challenges with acquisition of land for those schools. So these are matters that I think that we should acknowledge that something has been done. If all governments were building 123 in their term, every government was building 123, we won't be where we are today. And these schools are located at areas that are far from secondary schools, the traditional secondary schools. That is bringing the schools to the doorsteps of the ordinary Ghanaian. That is how you look at all these things. So I think that I started making the point. We are not out of the woods, but we can see the trajectory that this government is leading us to. This government is leading us to a place that we can comfortably say that come 2017, we will be able to, in fact, be comfortable as a people and still asking for more. In every country, you have the opposition saying that they want change, they want change. In South Africa, the DA would say that they want change from the ANC. In every country, you have the opposition saying that. But you must be careful the kind of change you are looking for. In Nigeria, when they call for change, what they got is not what they were expecting. You know this government is doing well. You know this government has provided infrastructure, has provided some basic amenities. This is a government that you know would continue to provide those things. Why do you want to truncate the life of that government? I think that what we are seeing in our neighboring country in Nigeria, Ghana should not allow that to happen in Ghana, where Nigeria is now in recession.
I'm grateful, Mr. Amaliba, for your time. Madam, a quick reaction, then we'll move on to some other issues. So, well, he tries to suggest that perhaps even the issues you're raising, his party is done, his government is done better than some of the issues you're raising. But for the NPP, how do we transform this economy that is currently one of straw, according to what Dr. Baumia is saying?
Yes, thank you. This country will not collapse because of anybody's violent nature. Violence is unacceptable. We
yes,
have
it
agreed
is.
in this nation that for us to develop, we need stability.
Right.
And that requires peace. And so for a communication officer, a lawyer, to sit here and talk about how violent he can be, it's a shame. Having said that, the development of Mother Ghana is serious business. It's not about lies or pretending that it's good or whatever. The reality on the ground, people feel it, and that is not good. Modern Ghana teachers have gone on strike because they are not being paid.
The NPP said it will restore the allowances.
Yes, but I am speaking to what he said, that it is not true that salaries have been paid. It is true that they have not been paid. Several teachers, they have worked for 3 years and they have been given 3 months salaries. People are being posted, they went there, it was in the newspapers, and they were not even given letters. How do you get your salary? What are we talking about? A nurse finishes training college, she doesn't get a job, she's not posted for 2 years, 3 years. All these are to stop people from getting funds that they should get. Why are the teachers going on strike? Why are the nurses, if all is well, if they are getting their monies, why are they talking about it? Why are they demonstrating? These are realities on the ground. The national health is one thing that every Ghanaian remembers about the new patriotic party under President Kufuor. And wherever you go, they complain. And you see, they struggle to explain. What was said to us by President Mahama is that there are 29 million people who have been covered.
Well, Mr. Amaliba is saying that 29 million times people have visited
they will rechange the talk as we go along. And it's not about rechanging the talk. It's about the reality on the ground. That today, if you are ill and you go to the hospital, if you don't have money, you will die. I have a friend who has a problem with his kidneys. When he went to the hospital, they would not be able to unless he paid money.
Okay, kidney is not captured on any charge.
I'm saying,
okay,
he has to pay money. I'm giving you an example.
Right.
He has to pay. If you don't pay, you will die. There was a story in the newspapers. A man went to hospital with his child because he couldn't pay. The child died. There are women who are kept in Kolebu and other places who go to give birth. And if you don't have some church coming to pay, then it means you are a prisoner in the hospital. That is the reality on the ground. You cannot deceive all the people all the time. Governance is serious business. We must have governance that is meaningful to all of the people of Ghana, not to some. And it is not enough to tell us that you have fixed it. We have to see that it is fixed. So that if that hairdresser goes to her shop or the barber and the light is not working, is it fixed? If she has to go and buy a generator, it adds to her expenditure. If she's not well and she has to remove money again, that is also adding to her overheads. And so if you are not well, how can you be productive? So all these things are indicators that it is not well, and it is because of the poor leadership, the mismanagement of the economy, the incompetence of it, and the fact that corruption has reached a record high in this country. Look at the electricity bill, my brother. You use a meter. How come your meter, when you go and put maybe 20 Ghana, within a few days it's gone? Because 70% of it goes into these taxes and street light and what. So you are not even getting 20 Ghana. What you are getting in the end is 4 cedis out of every 20 Ghana that you pay. So how are you going to be productive as a nation? I'm sure your bills for electricity here are more than anything else. And if you don't have the ability to have a generator and fuel, then you are dead, because you need 24-hour energy. Now, they will have to lay some of your workers off. I know people in the hoteling industry, they pay 1 million cedis. My friend, she lives at Nima, Chamber and Hall. Her electricity bill, 300. Meanwhile, her child is in a primary school. They just brought the bill for her to go and pay. Why is the free education? Books, only books was another 200. They had to buy marker. You are buying chalk and God knows what else before. So the whole system is difficult to breathe. The economy is killing us because of the corruption and the lack of management. And so you asked, what will the MPP do? That is a good question. We are going to see that we manage the economy better. Look at the city today. They go to the communities in the villages and tell them that, oh, now the cedi is almost for $1 is 4 cedis. So when your people send you money, you get more. What they don't tell them is that Ghana, we import most of the things. And that when you are going to buy, you are now going to spend more cedis to be able to buy. And those are the lies they tell our people. So you have to manage the cedi. When President Rawlings was leaving, what was the rate of inflation? It was about 41%. When Kufuor was leaving, it was about 18%. Mills was able to bring it down to a single digit. Today, what is it? Has it not gone up? Is it not 16% plus? What are we talking about? And so when you get up every day and look at cocoa prices, the cocoa farmers are crying. You've increased it, but the rate of inflation is more. The cedi is depreciating, and fuel costs are high. And so whatever increment you bring in is swallowed up. And it makes the burden of living in Ghana very, very difficult. That is what we are talking about. If you continue to pay these Wyomis and the Jida and the Sada, where are the guinea fowls? The president who said that he is a Northerner, so he's going to bridge the gap, has made Northerners sadder, and all the guinea fowls have run to Burkina. We are going to bring them back.
That was only a joke.
We must create jobs, not phantom jobs. And not schools that you say, this one says, president says one figure, Ekujeto says one figure. What is that? The reality on the ground is that you've commissioned only 10. It's not about the number that, after all, from Godjesburg, they wanted to do Bui. Did they do it? So if you come and sit here today and say that somebody dug, somebody must dig before somebody can build. That is life.
I'm grateful.
We are not going to joke in this country again.
Okay.
We must be serious about business of governance. Right. And they're stealing from electricity. My brother, if your electricity bill is more than your rent, tell me how you are going to develop as a people. Energy is life. Electricity cannot be more than your rent. It kills the economy.
Let me move to the Ghanaian Times. Oh, I thought we're moving.
She talks about inflation under Kufuor, which was 18%. And she says that we are doing 16%. Is that not a better statistic?
Oh, please.
Well, I think what she was saying that Professor Mills brought it down to a single digit.
She's talking. I'm now comparing ourselves with Kufuor. Okay. She says Kufuor left 18%.
Okay.
And we are now doing 16%. Is that not a better statistic? Is that not a better statistic? Indeed. When Mills brought it down to a single digit.
From 41%, we brought it down to 18%. And that gave President Mills the ability to bring it down to a single digit. And that is the promise of the NDC, that we will keep it at a single digit. Is that not in the NDC manifesto? Is that not in the NDC manifesto? And it is still rising. So you cannot talk about better.
Okay, all right. Please make the point. But quickly, let's move on to the ECG issue.
With the single digit inflation that we recorded for a long time, unprecedented, you know, they disagreed with us. Baumia, I'm going to refresh your mind, came and told the people of this country that the statistical service, the things what they are putting in their basket is excluding cement, And that's why we are witnessing a single-digit inflation. They refuse to accept that we are doing single-digit inflation. Today, we've gone full cycle. They are looking at that and say that was good performance. But when we were touting it, they were saying that, led by the Abawumia, they were saying that, oh, it's a lie. The statistical service have massage figures. Bank of Ghana has massage figures.
Let's move on.
The double tongue of these people.
I have 14 more minutes. Let's deal with this ECG issue. I'm grateful, Mr. Malaba. Because we'll talk about the NPP manifesto taking shape. But let's deal with this one quickly. Workers of ECG yesterday demanded the compulsory retirement of their managing director. According to the workers, the MD doesn't have anything to show for during his tenure, and so he should leave the scene for others to come in. We're told that it resulted in some scuffle between police and the union, and some order was restored later on. Now, Deputy Minister Mr. Jinapo is asking the workers to exercise restraint over their demands, and he said he's shocked as to why the workers did not make any official complaint regarding their grievances, and are rather up in arms against their director without stating the specific reasons for demanding his removal. He entreated the workers to communicate their grievances through proper channel for redress. Let's do a quick one on this, and then we'll move on to Mr. Malaba. Now, perhaps this ECG issue is simply not with the MD's term in office, but perhaps these workers are simply not happy as a result of this concession of ECG.
I think you are importing something into the discussions. The workers have not, they know, the workers are able to determine the concession matters, and they are able to determine an MD who has retired and they want him out.
Okay.
So they are able to do that.
One key thing they said is that the MD has betrayed their trust. That's what the newspaper said.
So it's about the MD. Now, the laws say that 60 years you have to go on retirement, but you have some 2 years that government can extend it for you. We've seen that happen for the IGP. We've seen that happen for other public servants.
Right.
If the workers, and I want to side with the Deputy Minister on this matter, John Jinapo, that there are grievance procedures laid out in every establishment, be it a political party, be it a public institution. There are grievance procedures. And so if they feel strongly that they do not want the MD, they must state that and also state the reasons for which they want him out. And that will be sent through the grievance procedures. It is wrong for the workers to go on demonstration, try to disturb the peace. Probably there were some people who were there to be served by ECG, their utility provider. Probably this would have disrupted the services. I think that, be that as it may, it is important that they look at the grievance procedures. They can even talk to their board, because the MD works under the board. Then they can escalate it to the minister. But to take up the whole matter the way they have done it, for me, smacks of people who do not want to follow the rules. But if they have a legitimate claim, I'm sure their leadership will tell them what they should do. I do not also think that the MD is there to suit the whims and caprices of workers. He's there to work. And if what he has done is in consonance with national interests, I think that the workers cannot ask him out. But if they have a legitimate cause and they think that the MD has breached any of his duties, I think that they should follow the procedure. Yeah.
All right. Mano Tukajaba, so workers are up in arms against the managing director. He's supposed to retire, and government has a right to say that stay on for a year or two, or the board has a right to say that, and yet the workers are demanding that he be removed.
Yeah, the government has the right to say what they want. The people to have the right to say what they want. I find it sad that our legal man here will say that it is wrong for workers to go on demonstration. It is their right. I wrote it down. That it is wrong for workers
He was talking about disrupting
demonstrations
services.
and that they will disrupt services. But of course, if you go on a demonstration, that is the idea, to stop so that people will listen to you. It is this is the Constitution. You have the right.
But in this case, they destroyed public property. Some doors were shattered, glass
doors that were shattered and things. That's a different issue. But they have the right to demonstrate.
Right.
Everybody has the right to demonstrate. We remember the CJA and all the demonstrations about fuel and everything else that happened. Everybody has the right. That is how you express yourself. This is a democracy. We are not living in a dictatorship. Whether President Mahama is wearing uniform or not, this is a democracy. And so when the ECG people feel that, and this is true, when you are 60, you have to retire. But I've noticed that there's this thing now that you get to 60 and you must stay on because the system out there is harsh. And so you are not prepared to retire because the economy is not being well managed. So people would want to go on contract to stay. But when you stay, you are taking the place of somebody younger who also needs a job. We have so many young people. The World Bank was saying about 1,000 or million people? 48,000 don't have jobs.
Youth, right.
Yes. Yeah. And we have, what do you call it? For the first time in the history of this country, graduate unemployment associations and what have you. So if the old continue to stay on, what will happen to our youth, our young people? They also have a dream. They need to work. I saw the National Health Insurance, this our friend, Ambeto, 60, and he's still on contract. What is it that you know that the young people don't know? Those things must stop. The government of the day must prepare an environment for people who are at pensionable age so that they will not be afraid to go. They will have a good life because you have served Mother Ghana. The other problem with all these things is that, there's this thing, ECG has been sold, it is being privatized. A whole lot of things are happening in ECG that we are not even aware of. All these things are catalysts. When a toad is jumping out of the water, it means there's a problem. And so we need to look at the problem and see how we can meet them because these are ordinary Ghanaians who are suffering. And the MD will come and he should be enjoying at their expense. That is why they are demonstrating.
I see.
So it is a twofold thing. The workers have a right to demonstrate. They have a right to be heard. And the people who hit pension. I remember the IGP, Alassane? Yes.
Mohammed Alassane.
The same thing. By the time you are hitting 60, you should have a plan for your life. So that it is your children who are 29, 30, 40, who should now be taking your place. That means the system is failing the pensioners and it's failing the youth. That is why unemployment is increasing. And then the corruption is increasing in the civil service. Because if you don't do those things, how are you going to live in this Ghana that has been created for us by this NDC? Are their lives being transformed? Where is the change? That means there's no change. If this man at 60 is insisting that he must stay on, and young people want jobs. So which one? Where is your priority?
Right. You mentioned Ameto's name. But let me indicate that Ameto is not on contract. Ameto is a consultant to the NHIS, and there are a number of people who consult, and he's just one of them. There are other areas that people also consult. But sometimes there's good reason for extending the term of a public officer. It may not be absolutely right to do that. You must do it selectively. When an officer starts a project and you want to see him complete the project because it is his baby and he has started the project, you want to see him complete it. So these are some of the considerations. Not just, you don't go about extending people's contract just anyhow. It is based on
some reasons.
Good reasons. And so when you see the IGP being extended, it is for good reason. And these are security matters. This is for good reason that it's been extended. So it's not that we go about, this government doesn't go about extending the term of office.
There are good reasons.
You cannot use words to cover up. It's
there
not
are good
about
reasons.
semantics. You come and say consult. The man has been given a contract to continue.
Oh, okay. You are talking about Ahmed
Yes.
Tufan.
He's a consultant.
What are you talking? Whether he's consultant,
He's a
He has
consultant.
been given a contract after
He's
60,
there.
He's a
and he's
consult-
still there
he's a-
collecting money that
he's a
young
consultant.
people can be just because he's a member of
And
the
apart
NDC.
from Ahmed,
This
there are other
country is
consultants.
not just for NDCU. It's for all of us. And when you talk about somebody's baby, why? Kwame Nkrumah, he will say that it's his baby. Limam too will say that something is his baby. Everybody must come and go at a certain time. Let us be serious in this country. Since Alassane left, has Kudolo not performed? Were there not other IGPs before him? What are we talking about? Every institution, people will come and go. Let's be serious. Just because you want to maintain some people in a position for political reasons doesn't mean that it is okay. It is taking away jobs from our people. And those people too have problems because they are afraid to go out there because there is no good pension plan.
I have just 3 minutes to wrap up.
The first person to retire is Nana Akufo-Addo then. He's
Nana
72.
Akufo-Addo
Well, is he a,
is not being paid.
is he a public
He's
officer?
not
No,
being
he should
paid.
retire from
I mean, that is a ridiculous
There are young people in the NPP.
No, he's
There
not
are
a
young
public
people in the
officer.
NPP who want to become president.
Nado is not
Why is it
being
that?
paid.
Why is it that? Why is it that you
See,
don't allow the young
Mr. Maleba,
people?
he
The young
is
people
not
to
a
come?
public officer.
I know, but 72
You see,
at that
Africa
age,
turns the whole thing into ridiculous and
at 72, he should resign and give it to the
Then
young
why
people.
don't
in the
you
NPP.
retire Buhari?
There are young
retire
people.
Mugabe. And retire
okay.
There are young
Reagan.
people.
Okay.
You see, governance is not about being ludicrous.
The logic should be extended to the
There is no logic in what you're saying because
logic
you cannot mix
of retiring.
lemons and oranges. You can't.
Okay,
Eh,
Madam Otuko Jaba
Sanado,
is here. He is not.
officer.
He's not.
Let him retire.
Madam Otuko Jaba is here.
Let us
So
not play games.
let's wrap up with the NPP
Serious
manifesto.
business, Governor.
So
Amaliba, I
Sunday,
don't know.
sure, we'll have your manifesto launch on Sunday. And how ready is the party? We have just about 3 minutes to wrap up.
We have Nana Addo-Dankwa Akufo-Addo as our presidential candidate.
Zamalba says he should
He
retire.
is 72 years old. And as much as the NDC want him to be dead,
Oh, no.
as
no.
much
I
as they
don't
want
think that's
him
what
to
the
be
NDC
ill,
want.
but they demonstrated it in Sunyani, as much as they will say he has cancer, he has this and that, by the grace of God, he is strong and going.
And Sunday,
And
the
he
launch
has
is
a
coming
lot
up.
of experience that the people of Ghana are waiting for him to come and share. That is the beauty of old age. You know, in our country, we respect old age. Yes, it comes with experience and wisdom. We've tried a younger man. We've seen the economy. It's not going so well. So the people of Ghana, changing Azua. And that is what we are going to talk about on Sunday at the trade fair. We'll start with the church service and then we'll go on to the unique pavilion where we'll have our manifesto discussions with various stakeholders. So please, hairdressers, fishmongers, NDC members, everybody in the society, teachers, you are all invited to come to the
trade
pavilion,
fair.
trade fair, unique floral. We are not going to demonstrate the burial of anybody. President Jomama, you know he's my brother.
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
know.
want anybody to put him in a coffin and do these kind of demonic things. We are going to talk to Ghanaians about what, by the grace of God, if we're given the nod, we will tell them, we will help them to achieve. We're going to bring change that is meaningful to the ordinary Ghanaian. We are going to talk about one district, one factory. In this country, everything is possible. Ghana is a blessed country. The dream of our forefathers for this small country still lives in us. And that is what Nana Addo is talking about. That everybody deserves to have a job. And the one district, one factory will open up the jobs. The one village, one dam. My brothers and sisters like his who are here doing Kayai, why should your child be a donkey? Will get jobs and they will be able to will develop their areas so that they don't need to come to the south. The guinea fowls will come back. $1 million per constituency. Those are doable. I heard Bagbin saying that then one man, one fish, making a mockery of it. You don't joke with poverty. You don't mock at the suffering of your people. I was in his constituency. He has put billboards plenty there. Even he didn't have the symbol of the NDC on it. Are his people going to chop the billboards?
Okay.
So we are talking about
Bagbin is not
and
here.
creating
All right.
jobs. But
Okay.
that's what happened.
Okay,
And the
I'm
other thing
grateful.
I want to say is about this
Oh, this
Shatta man.
oh,
Yes, because this is
Mr. Husseini said he did not pay for the man.
profligate spending.
He
That
said
is
he
not
didn't
okay.
pay for
Please,
Shatawale.
so this is the type of thing when you say somebody is on contract, somebody is on consultancy. Please.
He said he didn't pay for it.
Look, even the Aluta boys went to seize the pickup because people are suffering. You cannot go and spend 150 million.
You mean you were there when he paid Shatawale? Is that
Do I have to be there?
But so
When
how
the
did
clouds gather, you don't see.
No,
When it rains, you don't see that the
so
place is wet.
you're suggesting that
I
he
beg your
paid
pardon.
him?
It is there, live.
Where?
But the man has even confirmed it. The shatter him says. He says that he was paid. He says it.
Not by
he went there.
not by Mr. Husseini.
Doesn't matter who paid.
Okay.
You're missing the point. The point is that people are suffering.
Right.
Your priority is not to spend 150 million on a campaign launch just for musicians. When boys in Tamale, they sit there and they play draft. They don't have work because all the guinea fowls are gone and then the trees are dead.
All right.
Who plants trees in Hamatan?
I am grateful. We hear the
priorities.
trees are doing well.
So
we hear
all
the trees are
people
doing
are
well.
invited to our launch at the trade fair. When we finish, we'll have a
rally.
blessed rally.
Okay.
At
All right.
the same trade fair.
The forecourt we are told. I'm grateful, Madam Otikoja, but Mr. Malba, just some 30 seconds before we wrap up. NPP manifesto launch on Sunday.
Well, the
Somebody
other
say
slogan
anything.
is Nana Beda when we come to 7th December.
Now, we are going to retire Mahama. So whether Nana
you
sleeps,
you see the disruption.
doesn't
Oh no,
see-
we are wrapping up. So
It
it's like
doesn't
no,
change
we're
the fact that
wrapping
we are
up.
having
When
a
I
launch.
was quiet, he was
At least you can have the grace
Nana
to
Beda.
say that you wish
And
as
Nana
well.
would better because
Whether Nana
when
sleeps
you
or not.
consider
If
what
the
this
hardships in this country are so much, why wouldn't
experiencing,
anybody sleep?
nobody
Is it a crime to
would
sleep?
go
I beg you.
and,
Is it a crime to sleep?
and look for Nana Akufo-Addo as president. Nana Akufo-Addo
But, is it a crime
has no
to
track
sleep?
record when it comes to the governance of this country. You cannot. Nana Akufo-Addo
He has no track record.
Nana Akufo-Addo is building on and claiming that we should look at what Kufuor did.
Was he not part of Kufuor's
Kufuor is not going to be. Kufuor's picture is not going to be on the ballot.
All right.
Nana Akufo-Addo.
So you didn't campaign on Mills's.
Nana Akufo-Addo, as we speak now,
You didn't campaign on Mills's track
cannot
record. You see, you make governance
make
ridiculous. Oh,
this
I'm
country
Maliba.
better than
I'm
the
disappointed in
NDC
you.
is making it. You notice that the MPP currently is in shambles. A political party whose chairman has been axed. In fact, the bell saved her. She was one of those to be axed from the party.
Really?
Almost every.
Who are you talking about?
Oh, she as an organizer.
Okay.
She's seen as
Okay, Mr. Malba.
Kufuor lady.
Oh.
And so
But that is a contradiction. You say we are campaigning on
okay.
they asked everybody,
All right.
the chairman, the
Let's ask
the
Mr.
general secretary.
Was
She was the next.
Rollins,
She was the
was
next.
President Rollins
She was
at
the
their
next.
launch?
She was the next.
Why did
Now-
Nana Kunedu go and have a
Now,
party?
All right.
A certain
It's not fair.
president.
It's not fair.
Nana
Okay,
Kunedu-
no, we're
Nana
wrapping
Kunedu-
up.
My point.
Oh,
I am wrapping up.
My brother.
I've done it.
Let
You've
me.
made things really
She's
ludicrous.
trying to.
You've made
stampede
things very
me.
ludicrous.
Now,
And you are contradicting yourself.
What I'm saying is that
Why did
Nana
President
Addo
Rollins not come
is-
for your
what?
launch?
Let me talk.
I'm
Why?
asking a question.
Leave it now.
Oh,
Leave
no,
it.
we're
I am the
having a
one talking.
discussion.
Nana.
So can't I ask you a question, Amaliba?
No, you are not the one who asked
Oh, I
questions here.
beg you. Let me ask you.
Nana,
I beg you.
control her to make my last point.
Okay,
Control her.
Rollins-
okay, quickly. I've taken already taken 4 minutes.
Control it.
Why didn't President
Control
Rollins?
I'll get him to answer
And why
that before.
didn't E.T. Mensah go to St. George's?
Okay, quickly.
Why
Quickly.
didn't he do that? The Ghanaians
This
need to
country
listen, because you can't give
has
one
seen
side of the picture. You do
tremendous
this all the
improvement.
time. There is no
And
improvement.
it
Nobody's
is
life
not
is changed.
Nana Addo
And there's no
who could not
transformation.
provide water for his own people at his
Oh, please,
backyard.
there's no water in Bola. There's no water in Bola.
For him to
Even
say
the
that,
I
for him to
took-
say
Okay,
that,
I'm wrapping
I
up.
took- I wanted to Bola.
Gentlemen and ladies, I am so grateful. I am so grateful.
Nana
Addo-
Otiko Jaba is the women's
There is
organizer
no
of the NPP.
transformation
Abraham
when you are not
Amaliba is a
telling
member of the
people that in
NPP.
2017
NDC's
you give them
legal
money.
team.
You
and,
fail the people
a
of
legal
this country.
politician. I'm grateful, gentlemen and ladies, for your time this Tuesday morning. And we'll be at the trade fair, Madam Otiko Jaba.
why did they
Mr. Malaba, wish you all the best too.
Nanado's age, they
why